Alright everybody, well we're here at the beach. There's the beach. There's the beach there. And I've just gotten out of the wind here. It's very, very windy. And I just thought I'd kick off this video by saying hello. I'm on the Z9, I'm shooting with the 24 to 120. The more time I spend with this lens, the more that I love it. I put it in a head-to-head recently in this video that you can watch up here. And it went very, very well. I think it's its versatility, which everybody knows already. I just want to second that. For a guy that's used primes and the very best of 2.8 zooms, the Trinity, I'm surprised. I'm surprised at myself. But yeah, the 24 to 120 is a bit of a revelation. So who is the 24 to 124? Well, it's for everybody. You can use it for landscape, you can use it for photojournalism, you can use it for portraiture, you can use it for chasing the kids around, and you can use it for travel. But the thing is, it's more than a 24 to 120, isn't it? Once you think about cropping a 45 megapixel sensor, then you can get so much more out of it. Like, for example, with the 4K 120, we get 2.3 times, which takes us out to 276 mils, and that is pretty full on. So here we are at 24. To give you an idea of the reach, we're shooting 4K 120. We're at full frame. That's 24 mil. Very wide. Now we'll button off and we'll go to DX, and then we get that extra 2.3 crop. We're at 24, but with a 2.3 crop now. And if we zoom, this is, I think I worked out this is 276 mil equivalent. So it is a long lens, near on 300 mil. And there's a helicopter above the buildings. It's an S-class lens and it performs absolutely brilliantly. So far, absolutely everything I've done with it has been outstanding. So optically, it performs as well as a 2.8 lens. It's an f4 lens. Otherwise, it performs seemingly just as well. And I suspect it has most of the coatings and everything else that goes along with all the other S-class lenses. I do think Nikon over time are going to be adding more and more as the technology comes along. But this is a great lens. It's light, it's small, and it doesn't do everything, but it almost does everything. Like the 24 to 200 does everything, but it's not a constant aperture, and it's not optically as good. I will compare these two lenses, because they're probably lenses that most people would like to see compared. It'll come. But this is about this lens and what it can do, and how really it fits in everywhere. And whatever bodies Nikon's got coming next, it's going to work super well.
And we can see here it is the Nikon 24 to 120 f4. I've got a lot of these shots I love shooting in the fog because the light is so dynamic and there's so much depth. But this is a short list of images captured with the 24 to 120. Of course, this lens has only been out just over 6 months. So not necessarily a super amount of shooting has occurred. But let's take a quick look through these images and just how spectacular this lens is. On the left here, we can see some of the adjustments that I do. I love shooting wide open. We're at f4. We are on the Z9. Even right over here, right, this is right on the far side. Here we are in the corner, almost the corner. This lens is just ridiculously sharp everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Again, we're down in the corner. We are at 100%. We are on the Z9. We're almost at 50 megapixels. It's sharp. It's a beautiful, sharp lens. There's no question about sharpness, and it doesn't matter where you are, whether you are... So this is at 75 mil. Here we are at 41 mil, 100%. Again, we are wide open at f4. It is sharp. It renders chromatic aberration. Look at that there. 0. Another thing I've noticed about this lens is flaring and chromatic aberration, whether it's green or purple fringing, is so suppressed. Is there maybe a tiny hint of it? Maybe? Hard to say. There's hardly any pixels left. Super suppressed. This lens has been made as an absolute consummate all-rounder. Part of making a lens a great all-rounder is that it can work in absolutely all lighting conditions, and getting rid of aberrations and color fringing is part of that. Now, I shouldn't be talking about that with a black and white image. Let's get rid of the black and white. Not that we would see any in this image, although there you go. You might see some here, and again, nothing. And that's quite a nice bokeh ball. That is the sun reflecting off a statue in the background. Here we are at 400%. It is falling out of focus here, but that is because this object's relatively close, and I was actually trying to get short depth of field with an f4 lens. Something sneaky in here that I didn't like. Check out the heel layer. This is the sort of thing you can do in Capture One that's a tiny bit like Photoshop, but I removed that bottle. It's pretty cool. So much better. It's a very distracting bottle. This is it's a great all-rounder lens. Color rendition. So I want to show you these files because this was a particularly ridiculous sunset. It was this color. I didn't do this. It actually looked like this. And it was just so beautiful. It was such a beautiful day. Have a look back in here. Again, sharpness. We're at f4. Everything is sharp and clear. If you're going to be getting purple color fringing, it's going to be with this sort of bright light. Again, it is being suppressed like crazy. 300%, 400%, 500%, 600, 700, 800. If there's anything there, as we can see, it's like 1 pixel, a couple of pixels. It's so suppressed. Negligible. As you can see, that is just ridiculously small in the frame. But this is really what the sunset looked like, and I've done absolutely minor adjustments. There it is at 0 saturation. Still looks spectacular. Actually, I reckon that looks better because it's more natural. Now, this happened to be a great shooting day. This was later on the same day, and it was just so still. You can see by the river here that it is hardly moving. We can see here this is a long exposure. This is a bicycle, but the reflections have stayed intact. Corner to corner, we're still at f4. If you look down here, this is where the settings are, and we are sharp, 100%. Now my focus is here. Look how sharp that is, but this is still looking pretty good. All of this is looking just sharp. We're talking about sharpness, not depth of field, which is different. But right up here in this corner, look, this is the corner. Sharp, sharp. Amazing rendition. We are seeing no chromatic aberration, no color fringing. The level of detail and reproduction of this lens blows my mind. And as I've said, to repeat, it is a consummate all-rounder. It can work in all sorts of conditions, whether it's into the sun or at night. It's balanced, it's small. I got a lot of lovely shots from this session because it just was looking colorful. There was a lot of atmosphere. The fog had been around and there still was a little bit of fog left. I was trying to do something with this image. It didn't work. I've overbaked it. Let's face it. Turn that down. I think it looks better. Yeah, actually it does look better. But look at the Z9. Look at it go. Like, that's beautiful. Lovely amount of just rendition. You can see the grain, as in you can see that there isn't any. This background part here is in focus. We're looking through fog, through atmosphere. So that's why the foreground's out of focus, looking through fog, but chromatic aberration, not there. Extraordinarily harsh conditions, like we saw in all of the video. And video, to the best of my understanding, software like Capture One can help us with chromatic aberration, purple fringing, but video, there just isn't the power to do that in post on each frame on the fly. as it runs. So it's got to do it optically. And we saw in the video, it's great optically. And you can see it here. Look at that. Every one of these little points here is an opportunity for purple. It is not happening. Crazy lens. And look at the sharpness. I don't know what that is over there on that. Some sort of weather station or something. But sharp. Again, we've got some haze. We're looking into the sun. So we're looking through some atmosphere, which is more representative here with this island a long way away. A little bit of wildlife quickly snapped through my windscreen. And then you can check out this video where we put 5 different 24-70 ranged lenses. One of them was a 28-75 through their paces, and we went to 3 or 4 different locations. And this lens, from my perspective, was one of the best performers. And it was up there with the 24-70 2.8. As was the 24-70 f4. All those 3 lenses were equally sharp. And this lens is ridiculous to me. So here we are at 24mm. We are wide open. And again, we're at f4. And let's go over to the side here. Now, the focus is not here. The focus is here on Princess Bridge. So I would say that's out of focus. So it's a bit hard to tell from this one. But again, even if it's not, you can just see the sharpness. It's all there. We waited for the light to go down. Looks great. Slightly different frame. Again, if you look through here, this is all looking pretty sharp to me. There's a lot of rendition, and you look at something like this, and chromatic aberration, again, it's so well suppressed, it really becomes something that you don't even observe. It really becomes something that you don't observe. Maybe a tiny amount of it there, but it's just negligible. I mean, where are we at? 400%, at 100%. That's realistic. You can't see it. You just can't see it. I have a 5K monitor. Very good. So in this file, the focus point is here in the middle, and we will have fall off at the corners here because of depth of field, but it's a great result. We are on a tripod at almost half a second. This image was to show the bokeh, which I think looks lovely. It's beautifully rendered. This shows the beautiful background out of focus areas with this lens. So you can still use it, even though it's an f4, you can still get these sort of results. And we are only at 69mm, as you can see down here. Some more daytime shots, beautifully rendered here. We are at f9. Not sure why I'm at f9, but I was. We can just see how sharp, like there's 100% edge of frame. Obviously it's f9, but just look at that as a frame within a frame. That is something like a DX crop of what you get from this lens. We can see the heat haze because this is summertime and how sharp this boat looks. It's a lovely result. We're at full stretch. We're at 120mm and sharp edge to edge. It's just looking great. Again, an opportunity for a nightmare for purple fringing. I don't really see it. Bit of an action shot here with the lens. We're at 120mm f4. Another opportunity for purple fringing would be here on these rocks, just all over the place really, and it's a great result. The gorgeous 24-120 f4Z lens. It's another lens. There's a few lenses that I think are kind of essential for Z mount, and I think because this is such an all-rounder lens, if you have use cases which require you to just simply not need or want a lens like this, then fine. Otherwise, it's such an all-rounder with 24-120, and then you have the DX crops or the various video crops, depending on which camera you're using. It just gives you a whole lot of range in a very small package at a very reasonable price. From my perspective, this is a must-have in your Z mount camera bag. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do share. What do you think? Is this lens for you, or is there another must-have in your camera bag? Please do let me know in the comments below. It's been so good to see you, and if this is your first time here, I would love to see you again, so please do share, and please like, and don't forget to click on that notification bell. Okay, bye for now.